Alright guys, and happy Halloween, and hope you enjoy my little compilation of horror games for the Amstrad CPC. I'll do about 30 seconds per game, and first up is Ghosts and Goblins, the classic arcade game and conversion. The Amstrad version wasn't too bad. It's nowhere near as good as the Commodore 64 version, but it's some really awesome music and really sort of spooky graphics and stuff. Not proper scrolling, but I do like the push scrolling system they got here. And it moves quite well and plays quite well, but it's overly difficult. Could have been better. Anyway, Night Hunter. I really like this one. And you sort of play as a mixture of creatures actually. You're Dracula, you see him turn into a bat there and bite people and suck their blood dry. A nice little animation of the skeleton there. There's witches and ghouls and other things. I think you can turn into a werewolf as well. I'm not actually quite sure what you're supposed to be doing in the game, but I think I'll sit down and read the instructions one day and work it out. Aliens. Is this technically horror? I don't know, some of the games are going to feature in here, not really that horrifying and scary. More like horror themed games. I suppose Aliens was a horror movie. Anyway, you command the squadron of Marines here and you're moving through the base. And you can switch between them at any time. The game gets really intense later on when you're really far into the colony. This time you're shot and you get eaten by an alien. Cool stuff. Classic Cauldron. Mixture of sort of flying here and collecting, and a platform game as well. The best bits of the flying sections is a lot of fun. Controlling a little witchy on a broom. Collect a key and go to find those doors there, and off you go into a platforming section, which is far too overly difficult, but you know, it's a good game for 1985. Infernal Runner. Not really a horror game, but lots of gory, grisly deaths right there. It's a very, very old game, so the graphics not the best, but some really cool things there. Watching him getting sliced to pieces by those spinning discs. Lots of nasty traps in this game. So for there you think I'll get that key. Oh no, here comes that minecart. And splat onto those spikes in a big bloody mess. Roland on the robes. Yeah, it's a little bit cutesy, but there's lots of vampire bats and mummies and skeletons and stuff like that. Great old classic fun. One of the best Amsoft games up. Also the classic Ghostbusters from 1984. Just like all the other versions. And the Amstrad version is pretty good stuff. The only minor point is there isn't really a proper ending where you watch Zool being sucked back into a dimension or whatever happens. Other than that, the game plays just as good as the Atari and Commodore originals. Good old ghost busting fun. Oh yeah, and a quick one of Oh Mummy, featured because it has mummies. That's about it. It was still good fun. Friday the 13th, a proper horror game. You'll see I've recently put up a long play video of this, so watch that for more, in-depth stuff. Here I am fighting Jason Voorhees in a church. Although he's not wearing his hockey mask. But this is a pretty good concept game. Zombie. Kind of like a point-and-click adventure game. It looks quite complicated, but once you sort of read the instructions and get into it, it's really good fun. Obviously, it's based on Dawn of the Dead. You're in the shopping mall. You start off on the roof of the helicopter. There's a truck that's outside. But I ventured outside into a big hold of zombies and I've been eaten. Really good game. Oh, Werewolves of London. I will do a long play of this when I finally work out how to complete it. This is great. You control a guy there, when it's night time he turns into a werewolf and he can chomp and munch people. Just eating that guy there, and I've stolen his tube ticket, I think. And the police are out to get me, but when the sun comes up, very nicely done by the way as well, the sun comes up, you turn back into your human self and run away from the cops. Great game. Addams Family, one of the last ever games from Ocean on the Amstrad actually, and it's absolutely massive and it's ridiculously hard platforming game. Really difficult, but absolutely massive, and it's 128k only game as well. So if you've got a 464 without an extra memory bank, then you can't play this. But a really well done platformer, it's just basically just too hard and too large. Shame. On to Dracula. This was famous for getting a 15 certificate, or he may have had an 18 on the box, actually one of the first games to ever have that put on there. It is a text adventure, and there are some grisly scenes that pop up though. Like this one coming up, I've eaten some food and I've fallen asleep, I haven't digested it or something, and I die from choking. Hey, look at that. Lovely. Nightbreed, one of my favourite horror movies of all time, Nightbreed from Clive Barker. If you've not seen this, I implore you to try and track this down on video or DVD. I think you can get it from America. I think it's been released on DVD in the UK, I think. Didn't get good reviews, but I really like this one. It's good explore 'em up. Lots of horrible monsters and stuff, lots going on. It's worth sitting down and playing. Arachnophobia. Now, this game's not very well known of. A lot of people don't know it exists. I don't think it got produced in large quantities. It's actually quite good fun, and it's marvellously presented. Some really gorgeous graphics. So yeah, you control Delbert there, the Exterminator, and I've died. Altered Beast. Classic arcade game? I don't think so. It was pretty dull fare, I thought, originally. And this Amstrad version is absolutely dreadful. It's just far too slow and juggy. One of the most appalling full-price games released on the Amstrad. Definitely in the top 10 worst games on the Amstrad, I reckon. I think the original wasn't much cop anyway. Onto the Ghosts of Goblins sequel, Ghouls and Ghosts. This isn't very good at all. All feels rather sparse and barren. I mean, he controls rather well, and at least when you get hit on this version, unlike Ghosts and Goblins, he runs around in his pants. That didn't happen in the original, on the Amstrad version. But they've done their best to sort of cram it in. Ghostbusters 2, believe it or not, from the Oliver twins who made the Dizzy games. And this is a really good arcade romp. There's 3 sections. I've done a long play for this game anyway on my channel, so go on check that out if you want to see more of the game. This is the first level. On the second level we control the Statue of Liberty, walking down New York's High Street. And the third level you're in the museum after Vigo the Carpathian. Really well done, some gorgeous graphics there. Okay, it's a very old budget game called Chiller. There's actually, I think the Spectrum version original was written by the Darling brothers, who went on to form Codemasters. So this is actually one of their games, although I don't think they did the Amstrad version. Basically you've got to jump around and collect crosses, and collect enough crosses you move on to the next level. And Rocky Horror Show. Yeah, you've probably seen I did a recent long play video of this and completed it at last. So go and watch that for the full horrifying details. It's not too bad. I watched the movie last night actually, and it's definitely retains the spirit of the movie. Certainly the campness and the craziness going on. Now I've been zapped by his laser. Nosferatu, another very old game. Based of course on the classic story. You control Jonathan and his female, his fiancée, I forget her name, is it Jennifer or something? I can't remember. It's not too bad, all the characters look the same though. And there's Nosferatu himself, and he's killed me. Space Gun, I've included this because it's an Aliens rip-off. It only works in Plus machines. One of the very few Plus only games commercially released. Unfortunately, the graphics, well, of the actual aliens and stuff is really messy, despite everything else being well presented. It's an appalling game. I'll do a video of this another day, but basically there's such a lag from when you like fire your gun to when it actually hits the alien. It's just completely unplayable. An absolute mess. It was only released in France as well. Anyway, Cauldron 2, sequel to the original, and this time you're controlling the pumpkin and you're fighting the witch and trying to kill her. To be honest, I have no idea really what I'm supposed to be doing in here. And as you can see here, I'm having trouble controlling my character. He's constantly bouncing. I completely fucked it up there. The witch laughing at me at the top there. Frankenstein Jr. by the same guys who did Werewolves of London, as you might be able to tell. This was also released as Bride of Frankenstein as well, with a different lead character, but the same game. This is not as fun as Werewolves of London, I have to admit. But it was on budget for, you know, $2.99 from Codemasters, so might have been worth picking up. Alien. Again, not many people knew there was an Alien game on the Amstrad. It's very old, but it's actually really playable, despite looking really basic, as you can see. You control all the characters from the film, and you move them around the spaceship. Got to rescue the cat there first of all. The alien appears and attacks people occasionally. It's a bit like Rebel Star actually. The astonishing Mr. Weems and the Curse of the She-Vampires. Probably one of the longest title games ever. It's a bit of a Gauntlet rip-off, and it's not very good at all really. I really don't like the colour scheme and the graphics, to be honest with you. Stick with the original Gauntlet. Yeah. The real Ghostbusters. Again, does Ghostbusters belong in a horror video compilation? Anyway, Real Ghostbusters was the cartoon series spin-off, and there was a fairly decent arcade game released. And here's the home conversion on the Amstrad, and it was alright. There's just some really particularly dodgy collision detection, but you know, everything's there from the arcade. The big bosses, you got Slimer protecting me there. Not bad, you know, it's a 70% kind of game. Striker and the Cryptid Trojan. Playing the Plus version here with that lovely skyline there, the added Plus palette of colours. Of course, this is like really similar to Switchblade, which was you know, one of the best games on the Amstrad. I think this is even better. Although it's, you know, pretty much identical in a lot of things. But at least in this, you get some really nice bosses to fight and stuff. And I like how the screen changes colour as well. When you go from night to day and when a boss appears. Well, the emulation has screwed it up a bit actually. It should be more granulated. Anyway, Aliens, there's two versions released. The first one you saw was the UK version, and this one's the US version, which is sort of a multi-level, you know, lots of little multi-games and stuff. So just a selection of a few of the levels there, and that's me killing the alien queen. Last game, Super Cauldron. I love this to bits. I'll do a proper video of this sometime. It's one of the best games ever on the Amstrad. Anyway, hope you enjoyed, and happy Halloween!